Prince Charles and Princess Diana's royal wedding was watched by as many as 750 million people worldwide. But it soon became clear that the future king and his stunning bride's relationship wasn't as idyllic as it first seemed. Here's why Prince Charles and Diana were doomed from the start. Thanks to The Crown, viewers are well aware of the impact Camilla Parker Bowles had on Prince Charles when the couple first met.
You were cruelly denied your right to reign alongside the woman that you wanted by your side.
BBC News reported that the couple's meet-cute occurred, quote, at a polo match in Windsor in 1970, though People magazine alleged that the future Duchess of Cornwall met the prince 2 years later at a party. Whichever version of events is true, the magazine revealed, in 1972, the lively blonde with a wicked sense of humour and a passion for riding had captivated the young Charles. However, their fledgling relationship apparently fizzled when Prince Charles returned to duty in the Navy. The outlet reported, although the smitten prince courted her for 6 months, he failed to propose before returning to sea in February 1973. Instead of waiting for the prince to pop the question, the now Duchess moved on. By July 1973, Camilla had married her old boyfriend Andrew Parker Bowles, with whom she had 2 children, daughter Laura and son Tom. Perhaps if Prince Charles hadn't returned to the Navy, things might have turned out very differently. As it was, by the time the prince met Diana, Camilla had already been in his life for several years. Despite Camilla's marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973 and Prince Charles's wedding to Diana in 1981, the former couple didn't end their friendship. Sure, both had moved on with other people, but Charles and Camilla remained close, which apparently caused problems further down the line. Camilla's enduring friendship with Prince Charles was facilitated by the fact that her then-husband moved in the same social circles as the prince. E! News reported, the men still played polo together and Charles frequently spent the weekend at their home. In turn, the Parker Bowleses hobnobbed frequently with the royal family, Camilla getting along famously with the Queen over their love of riding and the outdoors. Further integrating himself into the Parker Bowles family, Prince Charles became godfather to their son Tom, who was born in 1974. Camilla and Charles regularly socialised with one another, and as a result, it seemed as though their spark never really died. We can only surmise this wasn't a great omen for Charles and Diana.
If any man can show any just cause why they may not lawfully be joined together, let him now speak.
While staying friends with an ex is one thing, attending their wedding is quite another. But that's exactly what happened when Prince Charles got married. The Prince of Wales wed Princess Diana on July 29, 1981, in front of a worldwide audience, but Camilla was lucky enough to get a seat inside of St Paul's Cathedral in London. In a 1991 interview with biographer Andrew Morton for his book Diana, Her True Story, in her own words, the People's Princess revealed, I knew she was in there, of course. I looked for her. So walking down the aisle, I spotted Camilla, pale, grey, veiled pillbox hat, saw it all, her son Tom standing on a chair. To this day, you know, vivid memory. Along these lines, author Penny Junor suggested in her book, The Duchess, Camilla Parker Bowles and the Love Affair That Rocked the Crown, Princess Diana became jealous, obsessing about Camilla Parker Bowles, suspicious, turning against people she appeared to like, convinced they were out to get her. But Good Housekeeping notes that following the ceremony, it was Camilla's then-husband's job to oversee the ceremonial escort that accompanied the couple's carriage ride through London. As such, it seems as though Parker Bowles had more than one reason to attend her ex's wedding, even if not everyone involved was pleased by her invite. During their respective marriages, Prince Charles and Camilla allegedly reignited their physical relationship in 1986, according to People magazine. In a 1995 interview with the BBC, Princess Diana made a shocking revelation when she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." The People's Princess also opened up about her husband's alleged affair. Revealing that she'd confronted Camilla about it, she said, "I was terrified of her. I said, I know what's going on between you and Charles, and I just want you to know that." Diana also alleged that Camilla had once told her, "You've got everything you ever wanted. You've got all the men in the world fall in love with you, and you've got 2 beautiful children. What more do you want?" Understandably, the princess responded, quote, "I want my husband." In tapes she recorded for Andrew Morton, Diana detailed how she discovered early on that Prince Charles still had feelings for Camilla. She said, "The first thing that hit me was my future husband sending Camilla flowers when she had meningitis. To Gladys from Fred. I once heard him on the telephone in his bath on his handheld set, saying, 'Whatever happens, I will always love you.' I told him afterwards that I had listened at the door and we had a filthy row." The evidence continued to stack up, with Princess Diana explaining, "Somebody in his office told me that my husband had had a bracelet made for her, which she wears to this day. It's a gold chain bracelet with a blue enamel disc. It's got G and F entwined in it. Gladys and Fred." She went to Charles's office and found the bracelet, claiming she made the discovery just 2 weeks before she and Charles got married. Prince Charles first met Diana in 1977 when he attended a grouse hunt at her family's home in Orthop. At the time, the Prince of Wales was courting his future bride's older sister, Lady Sarah, and Diana was just 16 years old. It wasn't until 1980 that the two reconnected. According to Town & Country, they were both invited to stay at a mutual friend's house, and that's when Prince Charles made his move. Princess Diana recalled their reunion in private tapes recorded by her speech coach, Peter Setlin, at Kensington Palace in the early 90s. Per The Times, she noted that Prince Charles was vulnerable at the time and he was mourning the loss of Lord Mountbatten, who was tragically killed by an IRA terrorist in 1979. Diana explained, "I said, you must be so lonely. I said, it's pathetic watching you walking up the aisle with Lord Mountbatten's coffin in front. Ghastly. You need someone beside you. He leapt upon me and started kissing me and everything." Judging by Diana's words, Charles was going through a difficult time in his life and seemingly threw himself into a relationship as a result, which might not have been the best foundation for a long-term romance. In the tapes recorded in the early 90s at Kensington Palace, Diana went into detail about the slightly strange courtship she had with Charles. As reported by ABC News, the tapes were aired as part of a documentary called Diana in Her Own Words, and the princess said of dating the future king, "We met 13 times and we got married." And that's not all. Diana was reportedly unimpressed with the way the prince tried to woo her. She also said on tape, "He wasn't consistent with his courting abilities. He'd ring me every day for a week, then wouldn't speak to me for 3 weeks. Very odd. I thought, fine, well, he knows where I am if he wants me. The thrill when he used to ring up was so immense and intense, it would drive the other 3 girls in my flat crazy."
I'm not very good at being a performing monkey.
The fact that Princess Diana only saw her fiancé on little more than a dozen separate occasions before tying the knot suggests that the couple didn't have much time to get to know one another before making it official. In transcripts of Diana's conversations with Morton, she got candid about exactly when her marriage with Prince Charles started to go wrong. The princess revealed, "Charles and I were very, very close to each other the 6 weeks before Harry was born, the closest we've ever been and ever will be. Then suddenly, as Harry was born, it just went bang, our marriage. The whole thing went down the drain."
Were you a little sad at that moment?
Well, I was.
As for why the birth of their second child had such a detrimental effect on their marriage, Diana had a theory. She claimed Charles wanted 2 children and he wanted a girl.
Were you expecting a boy? Can you tell us that?
No, it doesn't matter what it was, as long as it was all right.
She also alleged that Prince Charles negatively reacted to Harry's birth, saying, quote, "Oh God, it's a boy, and he's even got red hair." Prince Harry, of course, was born on September 15, 1984, and the world would watch as he grew up, got married and started a family of his own with Meghan Markle.
Boom.
Following Prince Charles's supposed brutal comments after Harry's arrival, Diana admitted that their marriage was never the same. But the future king didn't announce his separation from the princess until 8 years later in 1992. Transcripts of the tapes Diana recorded for Morton contained many revelations that shocked even the most loyal of royal fans. In one such recording, the princess claimed that Prince Charles wasn't always kind about her appearance. Diana alleged, "My husband put his hand on my waistline and said, 'Oh, a bit chubby here, aren't we?' And that triggered off something in me. And the Camilla thing, I was desperate. According to Diana, her then-husband's alleged comments contributed to her insecurities and consequent struggle with bulimia. She said, "I remember the first time I made myself sick. I was so thrilled because I thought this was the release of tension. The first time I was measured for my wedding dress, I was 29 inches around the waist. The day I got married, I was 23.5 inches. I had shrunk into nothing from February to July 1981. Diana also revealed that as her condition worsened, by that October, she even attempted to take her own life during a serious bout with depression. She said, "I got terribly thin. People started commenting, 'Your bones are showing.'" Finally, she thankfully sought medical help as she says she was, quote, "in such a bad way." And it turns out her wellness legacy continues to live on through her family and the Heads Together campaign.
Mental health is just as important as physical health.
One of Prince Charles and Diana's most memorable moments happened when a reporter asked the couple if they were, quote, in love during their engagement interview. While the princess quickly said that they were, her soon-to-be husband had a different point of view.
And I suppose in love.
Of course.
Whatever in love means. Well, it obviously
Put your own interpretation.
At the time, Princess Diana appeared slightly tripped up by her then-fiancé's weird comment about their romance. But in candid tapes recorded by Peter Settlin, she reflected on the awkward joint interview, revealing, "Charles's answer threw me completely. I thought, what a strange answer. God, it traumatized me." Still, journalist Andrew Morton told Anne Curry that for Charles, love was probably never the goal.
Prince Charles was not looking for love. He was looking for someone who can share the burdens and duties of a future princess and a possible future queen.
It seems that even when they announced their engagement, this doomed couple wasn't even on the same page. Perhaps one of the biggest signs that Prince Charles's marriage to Diana wasn't fated to last was the fact that they had very different hobbies and interests from one another. According to royal biographer Penny Junor's 2005 book, The Firm, The Troubled Life of the House of Windsor, when they first started dating, the future princess allegedly seemed to enjoy many of the things Prince Charles loved, such as hunting and spending time outdoors. Junor wrote, "Imagine his surprise, therefore, when after their engagement she seemed suddenly to hate everything he had thought she loved." Prince Charles was quite at loss to understand the change in Diana and thought it must be his fault in some way, that the prospect of marrying him was all too ghastly. The prince allegedly spoke to no one about his feelings and ignored the advice of close friends. After such a public engagement announcement, Junor explained, "Pulling out would have been unimaginable. The humiliation, the hurt, the headlines, the castigation." Unfortunately, it looks as though even Prince Charles and Princess Diana realised they may have been mismatched from the start. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about the British royal family are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.